Scotland. We are on our second city on our first leg, and it's so important that we share this because we can barely remember what we did the day before yesterday.
Especially with a memory like mine. We were trying to get this all together and figure out, how what we're gonna talk about and how we're gonna do it. And she's like, "Do you remember this?" I'm like, "I don't remember when we did it. I don't remember how we did it. I don't remember any of it." So we've kept every day busy, and I don't remember anything.
But more important, it's so important to document everything, write down, take notes, and I feel like YouTube is helping us to keep track so we don't forget, because it's so amazing. We don't want to forget all these things. So let's start with we left Las Vegas, and it was very hard to say goodbye to our girls, tearful goodbye at the airport, and then we were on to London. So that was our first stop.
Yep.
And the flight was great, everything was good until we got to the airport. We had set up a ride, and the driver accidentally reversed where he went to our hotel instead of the airport. So we were kind of stranded with all our luggage, and Mark ended up getting an Uber for us. It all worked out. They ended up crediting us back the trip fare. So
I was kind of thinking, I was wondering if this is an omen of how our whole trip's going to start.
It was. And so we get to London, very excited, but then what?
Oh gosh. Once we got there, we had our VPNs, we had internet, we had all these things, and not one of them was working. And we were thinking, OMG.
Many technical issues, yes. Yeah. eSIM, I did not install the eSIM correctly, so it didn't work. When I went out of airplane mode, nothing worked. So that was a bit of a struggle and very frustrating. And that starts to make me panic, because that's all our connection to home, our connection to directions, your connection to everything is not there. So we felt very stressed about this.
And then we didn't realize that when you get a VPN, it basically blocks everything from working on your phone. So that was a little crazy. And then also Jill's phone would not hook up to the internet in the hotel. So anyways, we went to immediate stress for the fact that, we don't have our ride. Then when we have our ride, finally get one, and then we don't have internet service, we don't have anything working. So anyways, became very stressful quickly. So we're kind of second guessing what our what our plans are. So anyway.
But that being said,
yeah.
I think we worked through it pretty well. Got a little frustrated, it was stressful, but I feel like we just hit the ground running in London the next day, and we kept kind of dealing with this little by little, popping into an Apple store, trying to work a few things out, and by the time we got here,
trying to find smart people to help us is basically what we did. So they became very cumbersome, but it all worked out. We're here, and we're trying to get over it. We still have a few issues, but I think we're ironing them out as we go.
Yeah, I feel pretty dialed in right now.
Yeah.
Much calmer about everything. Mm-hmm. So all's going well. We're figuring it out. So started out our first morning in London on the Thames Rocket Boat Jet Tour.
Yeah.
Very fun.
It was great. The guys that were there were really funny. I think they're all comedians.
And actors.
Yeah. You walk up to them, they're saying, "Look at this marvelous couple," and they give you as many,
compliments.
Compliments, and just, they make you feel like $1 million. So very funny, nice guys. So we would tell you that.
Highly recommend.
Yeah, it was a really a good tour. You got to see, a lot of different things along the way. And like we said, the people there were really kind and friendly. So we
gave us also a lay of the land of London. This spot, kind of gave us our bearings. That was helpful.
It did.
Really helpful. So we got off of the rocket boat, and then we went to St. Paul's Cathedral.
Yeah, it was amazing. We couldn't believe how pretty it was. We've all seen it before in pictures, but actually going to look at it, seeing the inside was amazing. The views at the top were just incredible. And, a lot of these places like the Shard and places like that, they charge you so much to get that same view. We got 2 for 1. We got the view, and, we got to see the cathedral at the same time. So it was amazing.
Right. If you have the chance and you're not claustrophobic, go up the windy stairs all the way to the top. It was incredible.
Yeah, it really was.
So from there, we decided to try to eat at the hottest restaurant right now, it seems like, called De Shoom. And I heard about it from another YouTube recommendation. And we had to wait a while, but the food was amazing. we got to Edinburgh, and also there's huge lines at Dishoom. It's a very popular Indian food chain, but the food is so good. So we're glad we got to snag a time and get in.
Yeah,
that was highly recommended.
The atmosphere was great. You know, I would have never guessed that it was a chain, but it was really good. The only thing I can say is don't go hungry. I'm a pig. I got done with my meal and I'm like, well, what am I gonna eat now?
Everyone that knows Mark knows that he can eat a lot, surprisingly, but
yeah.
Even I could have had a little more food there, so
yeah, and the
not
drinks,
enough.
The drinks, if you get a drink, don't have many because you would be broke, and also the amount, you have 3 sips and it's gone. So yeah, she came back and she says, you like your drink? I said, I love it. She goes, you want one more? And I said, I actually like a bucket full of it, but I can't afford it. So yeah, so just be wary about that. But if you go really hungry, you might want to maybe have 2 or I don't know.
2 entrees. 2 entrees will do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyways, yeah, it was good. That was a very good food. We really enjoyed it.
Right, and then the next morning we did a 3.5-hour bike tour through London with Get Your Guide tours, and it was a small group, just you and I and
2 other people,
Peter and his
Simon,
Oliver, Simon, yeah, and Ollie was the guide.
Yep.
And he was amazing. It was so interesting.
Stellar guy, yeah. Yep, and he had a lot of knowledge, great things to talk about. So I would recommend that as well.
Yes. Do you want to talk about the graffiti tunnel? It's called the Leek Street Tunnel.
Yeah, it was
Leek Street Arches.
Yeah, it's amazing. So when you walk through the tunnel or you're riding your bike through there, it's every day you can see this amazing graffiti. And when Ollie told me that, you know, that every day, that this is the only day you're going to see it the same, that every day they came through and they repainted it again. So what you see one day is not what you're going to see the next, which I find fascinating because it's a really big area. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. And the other thing at the end of it, he was showing us how the paint was peeling, and it was like probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches thick, I would say. Yeah.
Thick of old graffiti paint.
Yeah, it's just all the paint peeling away. So it was just amazing. And that was happening, you know, every day. And that was something that people go to do, and the time and energy spent on that was amazing. So I found it fascinating.
One other stop, we stopped on Downing Street, and he did share with us how if you look around London and see homes where the windows are bricked off, he gave us the story of how that was historical back in a long time ago when they started taxing people for having extra windows in their house. So people started bricking off their windows, and it leads to the term of daylight robbery, they call it.
It's kind of like our highway robbery, I guess, is kind of the analogy, but it was kind of interesting, the fact that the very end of one of the units, the guy had bricked off every one of the windows except one. I go, that would have been me right there. I would have been the cheap one to save on taxes. So just brick my whole house up. I don't want any daylight. So,
right.
Yeah.
So after that, we took a walk. We were trying to get to, again, another Apple store in Covent Garden. As we were walking through Trafalgar Square to get there, we did witness a huge protest. We all know there's a lot of political issues happening in the world right now. And we just kind of want to touch on how do we feel as travelers right now with all this stuff going on. It was a peaceful protest. Very crowded. It was kind of scary to be in such a tight crowd. Like, we were shoulder to shoulder for quite a while trying to get through this. Other than that, we totally have felt safe, not experienced any concerns.
Actually, I was amazed. There were people that were bumping into you and, like, you know, kind of pushing you aside, and they would turn around and say, you know, sorry. And I was like, wow, that's not what I expected. So it was amazing, actually. So, but yeah, to be in that for, you know, that where you can't move and you're in that many people, and if something ever happened, you just felt really odd, I would say, because we don't experience those things. But yeah, it was very peaceful though, and it was something we've never experienced before. So yeah, but we felt safe the whole time.
Right. So we kind of were at fault of sleeping in, way oversleeping one day, and we could not get to the Cotswolds. That was the one thing we missed out on. We wanted to do that. We ended up missing out on that because we overslept. I really think jet lag caught up with us that day. So we ended up just taking a trip to Greenwich. We walked all the way there from downtown. It was a beautiful long walk, and went through a few different neighborhoods, saw a lot.
Gives you a real idea of how the locals live when you walk through all the different neighborhoods. I mean, some people may not like the fact that, you know, we're walking so far, but I think it was like 3 miles one way, maybe a little bit more, closer to 4. But it was great in the fact that you really got a good idea of how the locals live, and And yeah, so some of the areas, you know, appeared to be a little bit, I don't know, like a little bit rougher than others, but you know, ultimately I feel safe the whole way, and yeah, it was great. I mean, the whole thing was nice, because it's nice to see how people live. So
that's right.
Yeah.
So we ended that evening in Greenwich Park, had an amazing Lebanese dinner from street food vendors, probably our best and cheapest meal of this trip so far. So good. And then we came back, and the next day we were off to Edinburgh, where we are right now.
Yeah.
And
when she says cheap,
yes.
she doesn't mean cheap. So the dollar right now, of course, is like 27% less than the pound. So every time you get your bill, it says, you know, 32 you know, pound or whatever, and then you're like, you look at your bill when the charge comes here, what? So yeah, staying here long term would probably not be something that you could do, but
No.
yeah, it gets expensive quickly. Yeah.
We stayed at the Kimpton in Charlotte Square in downtown Edinburgh, which was absolutely beautiful. We loved that. We had 4 nights there. We wanted to do 2 more nights, and what happened?
We called back 2 days later, and they wanted $200 more a night. So we didn't actually do that. So this is why we're today. We wanted to try something new, and we're staying with a local for 2 nights, and his beautiful, I guess, apartment.
Yeah,
it's his house, but it's a complete 1-story flat, but it's got beautiful views, and yeah, it's beautiful here. So anyways, we were really, I don't know, we couldn't figure out whether this is something we wanted to do or not, but our host is great. His name is Leslie, and he's a tour director, I guess, for one of the companies here in town. So anyways, super nice guy, and something to probably do again. So.
Look at these views. This is called the West Harbor area. It's still very close to downtown, but it's just very different vibe, way calmer over here.
Yeah, not so many people.
Right.
And you'll see in some of the videos and photos, you can see how crowded it is on certain streets in the area. So anyway, this place is much more mellow. They're currently building a dock for cruise ships to enter this area. They're trying to make it more robust, so not everybody's downtown, but it'll be interesting to see in the future how that works out. But we went to a distillery last night, and you could see from there everything. It was kind of an amazing area, but yeah, I like it. So very calm.
That distillery was the Port Leaf Distillery.
Yeah.
Right. And but our first morning in Edinburgh, we did the
whiskey.
What was it called? Scotch whiskey experience.
And Jill loves it.
Oh, everyone who knows me knows I don't drink, and I tried to participate, but that is hard to swallow, that stuff. But
so Jill did it. She was a trooper. She did it for me, I think, right? So she wanted to partake, but I think that it was not her favorite thing. So it was interesting. There was a couple across the table from us, and she was looking at Jill's face, and she goes, "You don't like it?" And she goes, "No." She goes, "I can't believe people even drink this stuff." The lady was getting a kick out of Jill. So.
It was interesting. I did enjoy it. Very interesting. Wish it tasted better, but it is what it is.
It's
Scotch whiskey.
Acquired taste. Yeah,
right,
it's acquired.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yes, it was really fun though. I enjoyed it, and it was really knowledgeable to hear about all the different areas that the Scotch comes from, and depending on where it comes from, you get a little more peaty taste, which is that smoky flavor, and yeah, and some areas have like a more of a fruity flavor, and some of them have more of, you know, stuff that I can't taste because my palate's not that good, but it was very interesting. The whole thing, the tour was very interesting.
It was.
And it was funny because the girl giving the tour, she was from Tennessee.
Oh, that's right.
So it was fun though.
That's right. And then our next tour we did while we were in Edinburgh it's called the Real Mary King's Close tour. It's a very popular tour, highly recommended. We enjoyed it. It's very historical, and it takes you through the close, they call it, which is a small alleyway, passageway that there's many closes that run off of the Royal Mile, right? And you see them everywhere. So you go in and they do the history of what it was like to live there, and it was very interesting, right?
It really was,
we would recommend that.
It was amazing that when you got some of the history, you'll have like a 10 by 10 room, and they would say 12 people would be living in that area at the time. So it was just mind-boggling to think people had to live like that. So yeah, but very interesting, very fun. We would
highly recommend that.
Exactly.
And then we walked the Water of Leith, and that was a beautiful walk all the way to Dean's Village. Definitely would recommend that. Peaceful, green water, little waterfalls. That was nice.
I would say it's more about being outdoors at that point, maybe getting outside of the city. feeling, you know, a little bit of calmness, you know, not so many people being around you. I found that nice for a few minutes, so yeah.
And we got a little more of that after dinner. The next night we did the hike to Arthur's Seat, they call it. And it's a hike about, I don't know, how long would you say? Half hour?
Well, you know, we started from our hotel actually, and that was probably a good, I don't know, 30-minute walk. And then if you start from Arthur's Peak, I would say it's an additional probably 35 minutes to get up there, 40 minutes, something like that. But stunning views, beautiful. Yeah.
And then we did tour the Edinburgh Castle, and that was very interesting, historical, very crowded. Be prepared for crowds, but I don't know, you gotta see it. If you're here, you have to see it. So
yeah.
It was interesting.
It's all about the history for sure.
Right,
yeah.
Right. So that kind of wrapped up Edinburgh, and we leave tomorrow morning.
Off to Dublin, Ireland.
That's right. So we kind of want to end our videos with a little check-in with about maybe our favorite highlights of each location. So for London, what's your favorite part of London?
I think the bike tour was probably my funnest thing. You know, it was interesting. So Jill gets oftentimes, like when we would be biking in other areas, so when you get in these tight quarters on streets and things like that, and she was very nervous, she did very good. I was proud of her. But I got to tell you, sometimes you're squeezed in between a
huge bus.
Yeah, a bus and a car. And so a lot of times you're like inches away. So Jill did very well. I was very proud of her. And so to me, that makes it even more fun. Like it just, you're weaving in and out of cars and, you know, all the sights you're seeing, and Ollie, our tour guide, made things just, I don't know, fun. Yeah, and the history that he was telling us was great. And so we really enjoyed that. I thought that was probably my highlight of being
London.
fun.
I think that was mine as well.
Yeah.
I did like that.
But this has been on my bucket list for years. So just being here, I mean, every day's been a highlight, and just I enjoy all of it.
What about sustainability of this type of travel? We're moving fast right now. 4 days in London. What's 4 days here in Edinburgh?
6 days.
6 days.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So.
And then we've been on the move going through the United States. When we left Coeur d'Alene, we were on the move almost for what, 3-4 weeks?
But yes, before we
So
left.
this whole time we've been moving now at this kind of pace now for what, 6 weeks, something like that. So yeah, so it's starting to wear on us a little bit. But today we get to do laundry.
Yes.
I don't know how Jill does it, but she seems to never have laundry, so she's a much better
Oh yeah,
traveler
that's
than I.
been a little bit of a struggle. One of the struggles.
Well, when we were at the Kimpton, I thought we would do laundry there, but they told us it was $5 for one pair of underwear to be washed, so, and $10 for one T-shirt. So I decided that probably won't work very well. So anyway, here we are, Airbnb, and lucky enough to have washer and dryer.
Doing a laundry day.
Yeah,
Right.
getting ready for the next step.
So we definitely need to think about slowing down, because the cost of traveling fast in Europe it's expensive.
Yeah, it's
So
not sustainable.
Not
right?
sustainable.
Every time
right.
you walk out the door, it's like a vacuum cleaner sitting inside your pocket.
Exactly. So how do we feel we did with our routines, eating, working out, banking, home, things that need to be taken care of? What do you think?
Well, I would say, you know, we paid bills today, which was nice. We got to use our VPN. It worked. Our internet worked. So life is pretty good. I would say being able to do laundry, and just, this is our first day we kind of really slowed down. And I think as of today, we haven't really done anything, and it's 12:30. So yeah, so I would say that, you know, this lifestyle is good for right now. But long term, I think that you would have to be crazy to do this.
I agree, totally agree. I need a little more routine. As far as working out, we squeezed them in where we could. We've been walking a ton, but the Kimpton had a gym, so we were able to get some workouts in. And I know it's not up to his standards. He likes a real gym. I was fine with it, but we do what we do.
I'm learning how to survive off of less, so yeah.
I was able to do yoga twice right in our hotel room. That's one great thing about yoga. Just lay down. The Kimpton even had a yoga mat in our closet. It was so nice. So did that. Eating, my eating's been pretty good, I would say, because whenever I'm eating like him, I'm doing better. Anybody who knows me knows I live on peanut butter M&Ms when I'm working, and there's no peanut butter M&Ms in Europe, so I'm doing better.
And I would say I'm doing better because I'm eating a lot less because they don't give you any food. So yeah, I'd say overall we're doing good there.
Yep. Thoughts, closing thoughts. Are we ready to on to the next leg? Super excited. Where are you at?
No, I'm stoked. I'm ready to go.
Me too.
Yep.
I have not had one feeling of doubt, one feeling of regret. I just feel super excited. Even with all the struggles in the beginning, I still feel very excited for the next legs.
I wake up in the morning and throw my hands up and go, woohoo, let's go. Where are we going today? So I like it. Yeah. Listen, that might change in the future, but we're so new at this right now that, hey, life is good. So people that we follow, they always talk about how this, in the beginning, that you take advantage of it because it won't last forever. So like anything that's new, it's like a nice new shiny car where, everything feels
the novelty is still there.
Yeah. So we're taking advantage of it while we can. So here we are. We're going to keep rolling.
We're excited, and we're off to Dublin tomorrow. So tune in for next week when we share that experience.
Yes. All right.
Okay. Slán That's cheers in Edinburgh. Bye.